All right, let's take a look at what I learned today. Oh, yesterday. Follow the data life circle. I watched video, video, and the reading materials. I think I spent almost 1 hour and a half in those. And about the reading materials, although it says only 10 minutes, but I actually took 1 hour, something like that, including the time I make PowerPoint, because I just don't want to just take a cursory glance at it. I want to really understand it. So, okay, let's get started. Data life cycle. Planning, capture, manage, analyze, archive, and destroy. What do they mean? All right, it's a summary from the website. Plan, decide what kind of data is needed, how it will be managed, and who will be responsible for it. Capture, collect or bring in data from a variety of different sources. Manage, care for, and maintain the data. This includes determining how and where it is stored and the tools used to do so. Use the data, analyze, use the data to solve problems, make decisions, and sorry, and support business goals. Archive, keep relevant data stored for long-term and future reference. Destroy, remove data from storage and delete any shared copies of the data. All right, let's take a review one more time and we'll look at some examples. Okay, plan, capture, manage, analyze, the most important, I think, archive, destroy. All right. Firstly, let's look at the US Wildlife Service. The data life cycle organizes and illustrates the elements of data management. Our data are corporate assets with value beyond our immediate need and should be managed throughout the entire data life cycle. Plan, acquire, maintain, access, evaluate, and archive. All right, let's look at detailed connotation. Plan. Planning for a project involves making decisions about data management, potential products, as well as data stewardship roles and responsibilities. It is important to document all stages of data management lifecycle and quality control prior to beginning a new project. Acquire. Data can be acquired by collecting new data. So it's kind of like the capture, right? Capture phase. Processing old or legacy data, collaborating with partners and contracting others to collect data. Maintain. Maintain data maintenance includes processing data for analysis, creating metadata, and making sure data are in a format that can be accessed by others in the future. Access the ability to prepare, release, and share quality data to the public, other agencies, and internally is an important part of the life cycle process. Evaluate. Evaluate represents steps associated with processing and analyzing data, so it's equivalent to the phase of uh, analysis. Important goals for both the processing and analysis of data are maximizing accuracy and productivity while minimizing costs. Archive. Data archiving supports the long term storage of scientific data and the methods used to read or interpret them. Alright, let's take another Example is USGS. USGS stands for U.S. Geology Survey. Data are corporate assets with value beyond USGS immediate need and should be managed throughout the entire data life cycle. Questions of documentation, storage, quality assurance, and ownership need to be answered for each stage of the lifestyle. All right, let's see which the detailed meaning of each phase. Plan. Create a data management plan and learn about important planning activities prior to starting a project. It is important to plan how data will be managed throughout the lifestyle. This section of the website discusses the following topics: creating a data management plan, roles and responsibilities of data stewards, developing data sharing agreements, understanding data access controls and copyrights. The next one, acquire. Acquiring data for a project involves collecting or generating new data or obtaining existing data. This section of the website discusses the following topics: methods for acquiring data, security requirements for data acquisition, following data standards, using data templates, choosing file types, and organizing file and data. All right, let's move to the next phase: process. Processing data involves various activities associated with the preparation of new or previously collected data inputs, including validating data, summarizing data, transforming, integrating, subsetting, and deriving. This section can also describes how to document processing steps through um, workflow capture. What is workflow capture? All right, I had a picture, but I forgot to put it into the PowerPoint. But it's alright. We don't need to understand it right now. It's kind of like a chart, the process of dealing with data. Let's skip this right now. The next phase, analyze. Data analysis involves various activities associated with exploring and interpreting processed data. Analysis activities covered on the Analyze page include statistical analysis, visualization, spatial analysis, image analysis, modeling, and interpretation. Alright, let's look at the next phase, preserve. It's kind of like archive. Preservation involves actions and procedures used to ensure long-term viability and accessibility of data. This section of the website discusses the following topics: data archiving, data disposition, repositories of data. Okay, so it also includes the part of the remove part, right? Remove data part also include in the preserve. This section also describes the USGS Science Data Exit Survey, a tool for documenting data and transforming the knowledge and experience of a departing employee. Oh, this is not that relevant to our subject. Let's move to the next phase, publish and share. Publishing and sharing data is an important and required stage in the research process, just like publishing traditional peer-reviewed journal articles. This section of the website discusses the following topics: why share your data, USGS data release process, Okay, data release is the USGS term for data publishing. I always thought it was kind of disposition. Sensitive data, digital object identifiers, data citation, and data catalogs. Oh, there is something more. Cross-cutting elements. Cross-cutting elements describes activities that must be performed continuously across all stages of the life cycle, to help support effective data management. Let's look at describe. Throughout the data lifecycle, documentation must be created and updated to reflect actions taken upon the data. This section of the website discusses the following topics: metadata creation, the importance of data dictionaries using keywords for data discovery, manage quality, and backup secure. Alright, that's it. A lot of information. If you don't remember, no worries. I don't remember too. Right now, I just want to get familiar with those terms. I cannot remember them. Alright, let's look at another example. It's in the financial field. During my preparation for this PowerPoint, this is a very long article. But I think it's necessary to write it into my PowerPoint because I'm a beginner in the data analytics area, so I needed to read them aloud. But you don't need to look at the PowerPoint. You can just listen to me and take a review what I take a review of what you've learned before while listening to me. Okay. It takes time, resources, and commitment to assure data takes the right journey through the enterprise. Data is an essential part of any enterprise. An enterprise that's agile and innovative requires an understanding of data as it flows through the organization, interacts within various departments, and transforms itself. Though an international standard for the data lifecycle doesn't exist, the following phases in order are identified as typical during data lifecycle management. Number 1, capture. Business is surrounded by data, but an enterprise needs to capture it in order to make use of it. Data capture occurs in 3 major distinct ways: data entry, data acquisition, and connected devices. Data capture is such an important phase to create a truly data-centric enterprise that companies spend a commensurate amount of time on this phase. So we can see from the chart that capture spend the most of time. Really? I thought it would be utilized or report. Alright, next phase, number 2, qualify. Have you ever wondered why month or year-end close process are prone to errors, or why reconciliations take such a long term? Inaccurate or incomplete data may lead to major problems later in the data lifecycle. These problems may include critical business processes being held up, and bad decision making, or financial reports running afoul of compliance because of erroneous data values. In this phase, data is assessed for its quality and completeness using a set of predefined rules. The capture and qualify phases are traditionally seen as under the purview of the IT team, which sets up the system architecture. But management accountants, with their knowledge of accounting process and the way data will be utilized in later phases, have the ability to and responsibility to envision the framework of the system in partnership with IT team. Our next phase, number three, transform. The advent of big data has led to enterprises being able to capture a seemingly infinite amount of data. Couple this situation with Internet uh, of IoT. Um, what is IoT? Internet of Things. Okay, IoT is Internet of Things. And all right, couple this situation of Internet of Things, and soon you can be drawn in data. Thus, enterprises have to transform, synthesize, and simplify the data so it can be utilized by functional departments. This phase is commonly called analytical modeling in the financial world. A certain level of functional expertise is required at this phase, as data from different sources is linked together to find the intrinsic value hidden beneath. Number four, utilize. The final aim of data is to help enterprises make good business decisions, and in some cases, data itself is a final product or service of the enterprise. Either way, the true value of data is unlocked in this phase, and the previous efforts made in data capture, qualification, and transformation finally bear fruit. Management accountants act as business partners during the transform and utilize phases. As business partners, we need to translate the data values into business stories that help enterprise leadership understand the magnitude of their decisions and their long-term impact. Number five phase, report. This phase relates to external reporting. Internal management reporting for decision making is realized during the utilized phase in the data life cycle. External reporting could involve quarterly, yearly financial reports, financial data sent to other vendors for bids, and other compliance reports. Reporting of data is a key phase of the data life cycle that is ripe for automation. Since rules, definitions, and the requirements for these reports either rarely change or have slight changes year after year, automated process designed by management accountants help to create and publish these reports in a more efficient manner. Hmm. All right. Oh my god. Number six, archive. This is the beginning of the end of. This is a beginning of the end for the data that the enterprise has spent a considerable amount of time and resources on to unlock its value. Data archiving is the transfer of data from an active stage to a passive stage so that it can be retrieved and reutilized as needed. Number seven, purge. The final phase of the data lifecycle is the removal of the data and any copies from the enterprise. It occurs in the data archive and is sometimes accompanied uh, by a communication both inside and outside the enterprise. Financial compliance rules within an enterprise or those imposed by regulatory bodies normally drive the archive and purge phases, and management accountants act as custodians to ensure that these compliance rules are followed within the enterprise for financial data. All right, we are done. All right, the last one example is Harvard Business School. I don't want to read anymore. Just take a glance of those steps: generation, collection, processing, storage, management, visual analysis, visualization, interpretation. No big difference. All right. So, all right, that's for today. Oh, thanks for watching very much. We'll see you tomorrow.